What's the craziest thing you've done?
Like, I forced him on the beach.
Oh shoot, okay.
Mama didn't raise no fucking bitch. But she did raise a mentally ill whore.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever. Oh my god, like please. I'll take a fucking construction worker catcall at this point. Please.
This is the core female psychology exposed in its rawest form. She's literally describing herself like a piece of meat in a display case, wondering why no one is shopping. But here's the real psychology. She's not upset that men aren't approaching her because she wants connection. She's upset because she's addicted to male validation and attention, and when she doesn't get it, she experiences withdrawal symptoms like a drug addict. The desperation in her voice when she says she'll take a construction worker reveals that she doesn't see men as individuals, she sees them as validation dispensers, and any dispenser will do when she's going through withdrawal.
It's going to trigger some men. They don't date women out of love. They date us so that they're not perceived as being gay.
I've never committed to a man fully.
You've never committed to a man fully? Why not?
I don't like it. I don't like being in a relationship. So I talk to a bunch of guys that I never commit to one because I like having my options open.
How many different guys have you talked to?
I don't even know, but I have not committed to a single one of them. That's what I know. So I would guess like 20 plus. I don't know.
This woman is average looking at best, and she has countless guys throwing themselves at her. She just admitted she's psychologically incapable of pair bonding. She's talking to 20 plus guys simultaneously because she's operating from the mental framework of a child who wants every toy in the store. She can't commit because commitment requires emotional maturity, and she's stuck in a perpetual state of psychological infancy where she believes she should have access to everything without giving up anything. This isn't about keeping options open. This is about her inability to handle the emotional responsibility that comes with genuine adult relationships.
There was one guy that I dated who was so nice, so cute, took me on the best dates, so fun. Like, we had fun. Every single day we had fun. But I did not feel emotionally connected. And it wasn't even that I wasn't attracted to him, because he was an attractive guy, but there was just something lacking. And instead of being like, oh, but he's so nice, he's such a nice guy, he treats me so nice, he has money, you know, I don't have to worry about anything with him. Like, as a friend, we could be friends all day, but I just wasn't feeling.
Here's the darkest part of female psychology. She admits this man was attractive, nice, fun, financially stable, and treated her well, but she wasn't feeling it. What she's really saying is that kindness and stability don't trigger her dopamine addiction. Her brain has been rewired by years of chasing drama and chaos to the point where healthy love feels boring and uncomfortable. She's addicted to psychological dysfunction and interprets the absence of trauma as a lack of chemistry.
Women are upset that men aren't approaching them in public anymore. There's a new trend going on where women will go put themselves out there, dress up a little more, make themselves seem a little perkier in an attempt to get men to approach them, and the men aren't approaching them, and they're upset about it. Newsflash, ladies, y'all created this problem. Y'all supported the feminist cause that said men should be shamed for approaching women. Y'all created imaginary boyfriends who don't exist to say, I'm not interested. But because you didn't have the balls to say I'm not interested, you said, I have a boyfriend, and made an excuse. And now there's the T app, which is publicly doxing and shaming men for approaching and talking and dating women. So explain to me how you plan on fixing this problem that you created.
Can you name any rights men have today that women don't?
Any rights that men have that women do not? Any rights that men have that women do not? No. No.
So then what laws are feminists fighting for?
Shit, that's a good one. Shit, that's a good one.
What you're witnessing here is the complete psychological infantilization of the modern woman. These aren't adults making poor choices. These are children in adult bodies who never developed past the emotional age of a toddler. Let's break down the real psychology. The woman desperate for male attention reveals the core addiction that drives all female behavior: validation dependency. She doesn't want relationships. She wants to be constantly reassured that she's desirable. Her entire self-worth is dependent on external validation from men, which is why the absence of male attention sends her into panic mode. This is the psychology of a child who needs constant praise and attention to feel secure. The woman who can't commit to anyone is exhibiting classic child psychology, the inability to delay gratification or make choices that require sacrifice. A child wants every toy in the toy store and can't understand why they have to choose just one. She's operating from the same mental framework. She wants access to every man without having to give up anything or commit to anyone. This isn't sophistication or having standards, it's the psychological inability to mature beyond wanting everything immediately. But the most revealing psychology comes from the woman who rejected the perfect guy because he was too nice. This exposes the fundamental brokenness in the modern female brain. They've become addicted to psychological chaos and dysfunction. Their reward systems have been hijacked by drama, trauma, and emotional instability to the point where healthy love triggers no response. This is the psychology of children who've been spoiled to the point of psychological damage. When a child gets everything they want without effort, they lose the ability to appreciate good things. When they're constantly stimulated with drama and chaos, normal happiness feels boring and empty. These women have been psychologically conditioned to need constant crisis and emotional turmoil to feel alive. The root cause is that these women never learned emotional regulation, delayed gratification, or how to find internal validation. They're stuck in permanent psychological infancy where everything revolves around immediate emotional gratification and external validation. They can't pair bond because bonding requires emotional maturity. They can't appreciate good men because appreciation requires the ability to recognize value. They can't commit because commitment requires sacrifice, and they've never been forced to sacrifice anything. This isn't complexity, it's simplicity. These women are operating from the most basic, primitive psychological drives of a toddler. I want what I want when I want it, and if I don't get it, I'll throw a tantrum. The difference is that toddlers eventually grow up and learn that the world doesn't revolve around them. These women never did. This psychological infantilism makes them completely unsuitable for adult relationships while simultaneously making them miserable. They're trapped in a cycle where they crave what they're psychologically incapable of appreciating, reject what would make them happy, and blame everyone else when they end up alone. Men are recognizing this psychology and walking away not because they hate women, but because you can't build a life with someone who's psychologically still a child. The modern dating market isn't failing because men are toxic or women have high standards. It's failing because one side never grew up and the other side is finally realizing it.
Shit, that's a good one. Shit, that's a good one.